let's go on to the most controversial topic of all time on this show.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm ready to dig in. We're not going to hold back. We're going to talk about the N-word. This might be a long conversation, and by N-word, if you don't know, it's not Nancy, it's not neighbor, it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's nigger and nigga. We're going to talk about those two words. So, you have white friends.
Yeah.
I have white friends. You are a white friend, but I'm not putting you in this category.
Yeah.
Some have gone up to me and said, you know, you guys say that word, why can't we say that word? Or I've heard them comfortably saying it, and I wouldn't necessarily say it in a, we're talking about the word nigga right now, not nigger. They comfortably say that around, you know, people of color or amongst themselves sometimes, you know, like, this is my nigga, and I look around heated, I see two white guys talking to each other. I am so confused. So, in both of y'all opinions, is there rules and regulations to white people saying nigga? And before we get into that as well, make sure we don't contradict ourselves when we talk about white people saying it and ourselves as well. I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna start with you on this one. So, what do you think about that?
I have been given my N-word card. Okay, I've been able to say that around multiple groups of individuals. I have said it in the past. I haven't said it in a long time, just because looking back on it, you know, it's used as a form of endearment, which is definitely understandable. I never personally felt comfortable saying it. I will say when I was living in North Carolina, that was normal, you know, to say that. When I came to Panama City, I went to the St. Andrews Boys and Girls Club off of 19th Street. In case anybody knows any history off that, you'll know I grew up with I played basketball back then, surprisingly, with a group of individuals. A couple of them are dead now, you know, but they just started hanging around me. We just naturally started hanging out, and then they encouraged me, you know, they wanted me to say it, and it was something I felt at the time, you know, somewhat pressured to do, but also I'm like, well, dang, okay, you know, obviously they look at me differently to say that whenever they tell me, you know, I can say it. But on the other side
so
of it...
they actually approached you and asked if you want to say it. That's funny.
They don't say, hey, do you want to say it? They're like, nah, you know, it's okay to say it.
You're okay if you want to. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's funny. I've had white people ask me if they could say it. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah. you don't want to say it. I mean, I never wanted to say it, you know. They just, you know, said it was okay and be like, nah, you know, you can say it. What's up? You know, that's how they approached me. So
gotcha.
Did it a couple times, and then that's it. Going forward, I don't say it, you know. It's just something that I don't feel like anybody, you know, should really say. But I understand why it's said. But the individuals that do get approached, like if I came up to you and asked you to say it, you got to somewhat understand why. You know, obviously, I don't think that individual that's asking your permission to say it is racist, but they're trying to maybe somewhat understand or get that form of endearment that you guys have with one another, even though it's not okay. Yeah. You know, that's back to the ignorance part, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, are there rules and regulations to it as of now? Yes. Should there be? No.
No. You know, it's funny, too. Like, I believe that story 100%. I believe you did get a pass just because I know you. I can see people doing that. That being said, though, I don't think you could just say that to someone before they throw a fist at you. Hold on, brother, I have a pass.
No. But the individuals that I hung out with there were so well known, and the group was so big, like Mike Smalls, Gary, Anthony, you know, all of them, that it was cool for me to say there. Of course, that's the only time I was around those individuals at the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? So it was good there. I just wouldn't randomly walk out and say it. And then, you know, after that, I started growing up, you know, finding out who I was as an individual and finding myself to where really I didn't have to say that anymore to be me. I didn't have to wear certain clothes to try to fit in. I was just me. It was just James.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's why they felt that way, because you were a genuine person, not trying to act something that you're not. I feel you. Okay, same question, man. Go ahead.
I feel like both words to me. When it comes to someone of different ethnic, I mean, especially white people. They say
seems like a lot of Latinos get the pass real quick.
To me, they're getting a little too comfortable with it.
You think so?
I think they're getting too comfortable with it.
Okay.
We can talk about that after that a little
you
bit
good?
later. But
okay.
to me, it's the same. Rather you say however you slang it to me as being a white guy, to me it's the same. To me, it feels the same fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, David Banner made a very good song called Amy.
Yeah.
About that word.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it really, really had me thinking.
That I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why, to me, it gets a very bad connotation to me is because my first real encounter was, I want to say, 7th grade. I don't know where this kid at no more, but I know his whole name, Tony White.
Uh-oh, Tony White.
You know? And
Tony.
Uh-oh.
so that was the first time we had that encounter. It was in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get to him quick enough, man.
Tony White must have been a track star.
But to me, the reason why it does, because like I talked about earlier about, you know, a lot of people not having patience because we resort so much back to history.
Mm-hmm.
That was what happened to me, you know. Like when I see that word, it does feel me. Mm-hmm. And I can't really get, like, I guess, down deep into what's the difference between a black or white people. Like, why don't I get mad? Because I grew up when a white person say it, no matter how they say it, it's negative. No matter how they trying to approach you, if they approach you with anger, it's just out of rage. But when they approach you trying to get to know you, it's still in the same way of them looking down at you. Oh, you my boy.
Yeah.
I'm your boy. You know? So no matter how they come off on trying to say it, it still comes off negative because of how how it was used towards history.
Yeah.
So no matter how they say it, I get angered.
Yeah.
You know? Now, like I said, we don't want to contradict ourselves. But even calling ourselves that amongst each other, and, you know, I am pretty much sliding out of that myself. You know, even though
I'm on that Amy stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, even though we changed it with the Amy thing, that really hit because, you know, David Banner asked, like, why do you call your brother that? You know, why don't you call him a god?
Yeah.
Call him a king, you know? And I get that. You know, I'm moving more out of that word because it's like, yes, we might have changed the meaning to like brother, but how about we just say brother?
Yeah.
You know, how about we take that word and we as people, since we got the power of that word, why don't we abolish that word altogether, you know?
Because Whitey over here will take brother away from us. He'll be like, my brother. Don't say that, that's our word. No, I'm actually talking to my brother, dude.
It's like, that's my thing. Like, I want to really want to push that. Like, you know, even amongst ourselves, you know, like, I mean, of course, I know every now and then it might slip out. It might slip up.
It does with me all the time. And I want to say something too, dude. I like the brother ID, and I like, if you have the chance to check that song, because I actually showed him that song. He was saying, like, we should stop calling each other nigga and start calling each other God, start calling kings, brother, and stuff like that. I agree with that. No, I'm gonna say two things, and people might not agree with this. I agree with you on back in the day when a white person said that, and you know you feel that rage. I call that like a PTSD situation. I grew up here in Callaway. It's very diverse. A lot of blacks, Spanish, and Asians, and whites, of course. And we was all cool. Then I went to an all-white school, and this is the reason why I will refuse to have my son go to an all-white school or even an all-black school. I want him to be at a diverse school like Callaway or Bay Haven Academy, because I went to an all-white school that had like maybe 5 black people in it, and that was the first time in my life, 6th grade, that I actually got that word called to me, and then I had to look it up. That's how far about race we were in elementary school back in the day. Like, I had to look it up, like, what'd you just call me? Like, okay, we'll do that right now. I had to look it up, like, what, excuse me? I got heated, like, and that what I heard, like, in middle school all the time. I was called that by white people, and I had to fight a couple times, but at the end of the day, I was still kind of by myself. I wasn't until I got to Rutherford, and it was switched. We were back to a diverse community. Yeah. So when I hear a white person saying that, whether they're being conscious, being buddy, I still do have that PTSD moment, like you're saying. It brings me back to 6th grade when Josh Ray called me that. So, but that being said, too, I was actually at Chance the Rapper's concert last night. And there was a lot of, Chance the Rapper says the N-word a lot. And that concert was probably about 60% white people there. And every time he said that, every time they would sing with him, 60% of that crowd would sing the lyrics. This is where I think a lot of people might disagree with me. I don't care if you're quoting it in a lyric. I don't. White people, I don't care. Some other people might, so no, don't say this is the past, but I don't care if you're quoting it. I don't even care if you're quoting somebody else saying it. Like if a white dude came up in here and called you nigger, and James said, oh, this dude came up in here and called me nigger. I'm not going to get mad at James. He's just quoting what somebody else said. There's no reason to get mad about that. I'm not that sensitive. But when you're, when you're not quoting somebody, I do have a problem with that. Yeah. So if you're driving in the car and you're white and Real Nigga Roll Call by Lil Jon comes on, I'm not gonna watch you every 5 seconds and be like, censor yourself. I'm not gonna be the N-word police on that. That's just me. Yeah. People are different. So that's the only time I just don't care. Yeah. Because I understand what's going on in these songs. Because they're saying it in their mind. Yeah. They're not censoring themselves in their mind. So why are you even, the rapper put it out there. So don't get too trippy about that.
My thing is, like, if you're going to consciously, preach that, you got to do that, at all times. Yeah. It's about integrity, you know what I mean? And what I think by getting the pass means is you're around individuals you're comfortable with. So whether, you have that white friend or I'm that white friend that you say I can say it, or I can't say it at certain times, then it should be across the board, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And whenever you're with just your all black friends, I'm trying not to say that word. I feel like you shouldn't say that word, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Jemiah worked with me for a long time. There was one I quit my first T-Mobile job 3 years after racial issues, and I've called customers out about it a couple times and made them leave my store regardless of their skin tone because me hearing a customer say that word, or even talk to, Jemiah or another employee that's working around me in a negative voice or talking down to them, I got to ask you to get out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would just say just try to keep it across the board, keep that integrity there, you know what I mean? So people outside looking in can see that, and that's where the change really begins. You're looking at yourself and people around you.
True that.
I like that.
I like that, man. You got anything else to say about the N-word?
Oh, man, just don't say it around me.
I feel you. All right, my guy.
You're my brothers, man. I'm trying to push us away from that, too. So,
no doubt, man. No doubt. It's going to be a controversial subject for many years to come because it did stem from a hateful word.
But that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. The intellectual controversy.
Hey, my nigga. Why you call yourself that? Hey, my nigga. You supposed to be a god. Hey, my nigga. Why you call yourself that? Hey, my nigga. You supposed to be a god.